CDs are super hot in 2025. The problem is a lot of people don't know where to start or where to go. I've done dozens of videos about collecting CDs, why you should be collecting CDs and CD players at every different price point. And whether you're new at the CD collecting game or you have that copy of Hootie and the Blowfish or Chubbawamba within arm's reach, this is the video for you. Today we're going to talk about why CDs are making a huge comeback in 2025, maybe except for this one. Where you can buy them to make sure you're getting great prices, where you can buy them to ensure that you're supporting the artists, why you would even want to buy CDs when you can stream everything. We're going to talk about different CD players at all price ranges from super cheap to about $600. Why you would want to choose different ones at different prices, and a giant surprise that's going to shock you. Did you know that the average person spends 1/4 of their life sitting down? Most people working in an office job spend between 7 to 11 hours sitting. And I've experienced wrist pain, neck pain, shoulder pain. And get this, sitting for 2 consecutive hours or for more than 8 hours a day is considered sedentary behavior. So if you have to sit for a long time at work or at college, or if you're gaming, then you should at least sit healthy. And that's why I'm super excited about today's sponsor, Habata, the E3 ergonomic chair. Remember those 3 pains I talked about? Wrist, shoulder, neck pain? Well, the Habata E3 ergonomic chair has you covered. With the T-shaped linkage support system. It's got 3 zones of floating wing lumbar support. It has a 4D double access neck pillow and a 6D mechanical armrest. 6D mechanical armrest is for shoulder pain. 4D double access neck pillow, well, obviously is for neck pain. And the 3-zone floating wing lumbar support, well, that helps with back pain. You can lay back in this thing. It's got a footrest. You get the neck pillow just right and enjoy whatever you're doing. It's got an adjustable seat cushion that can be adjusted forward and backward by 5 centimeters, a breathable and durable premium mesh fabric, adaptive gravity sensing chassis, easily tilts back to 140 degrees. It's got an SGS-4 cylinder, aluminum alloy base, and quiet wheels. I legit started to have a bunch of wrist issues, and I had no idea how important it was to get your arms just right. And since I got this chair, 0 wrist pain. And my old chair didn't recline, so when I need a break, I can just lean this thing back, watch a video, and enjoy some nice music. So go to habata.com, that's HBADA.com, and check out this chair. It's the E3 ergonomic chair. I love it, and I think you're gonna love it too. That's habata.com, HBADA.com. Check out the E3 ergonomic chair. If you are my age or older, you probably bought hundreds of these things, got them super scratched up, lost them, cracked the jewel cases, somebody broke into your car and stole the whole thing because you had a display of them on your sunshade, because that was like the currency back then. If you had more CDs on your sunshade, it meant that you were awesome. You've probably replaced them at least once in the 90s, and then you threw them away because you got old, and now you're replacing them again. Well, even if you're not replacing them and you're just getting started, they are back in 2025 and almost back in the mainstream. But why would you even want to buy them now? Well, they sound better. Whether this is anecdotal or the experience of many audiophiles, it's the experience of many audiophiles, because I've read hundreds of comments and they all say the same thing. CDs sound better than streaming. But to get that better sound, you're gonna have to do a few things, which we will talk about later. Streaming services, in many people's opinions, including my own, are screwing the artists. They pay them between 0.003 cents to 0.005 cents per stream. Some of them, like Spotify. But if you buy a new CD from the band, it's equivalent to about 6,000 to 10,000 streams. So if you want to support your favorite band, or maybe that band that's flying under the radar, buying a new CD from them directly is not going to ensure that they keep making music, but it's certainly not going to hurt. You never know when that EMP is going to take out Spotify or Amazon Music servers. So you want to make sure you got a big old stack of CDs somewhere, just in case you have to run your house off a generator. This is not hyperbole. This actually happened to me. We had a huge storm come in. It knocked out power for a bunch of days. I had a small generator, so guess what I could do? Me and the wife were sitting by the fireplace watching old Blu-ray movies and listening to CDs, and guess what? It was awesome. So, just in case the global apocalypse happens, you may want to have some of that CD physical media laying around. CDs are super cheap. Even if you're buying them new, a new CD in 1987 was between $13 to $20. A new CD in 2025 is $10, maybe $13. In some cases, it's $8. When is the last time you bought anything that has had negative inflation? Probably not. And you can buy them used at thrift stores or Goodwill. That's a bit of a mixed bag though. Sometimes you're not always going to find something good, but a lot of people enjoy the hunt. Dopamine hit they get when they go in there and they find a copy of Will Smith's Big Willie Style. The takeaway is a lot of times you can find CDs for 99 cents. So if that is your thing, do it now before people catch on that CDs are making a huge comeback even in the mainstream. Finally, it is a way to physically interact with your music. And for me, the interaction with my music is a bit of a ritual. It subconsciously sets the stage. It prepares me for what I'm going to experience, which is awesome because this CD was my first CD. For me, it's a more intentional way of listening to music. And if I've got a non-greatest hits record or CD that I'm going to play, it makes me appreciate the music more. And I get it. A lot of albums in the 80s and 90s were mostly filler. You didn't know what was on the record before you bought it, right? But there's a lot out there that are awesome in their entirety. Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. In Excess Kick, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, or even Will Smith, Big Willie Style. I'm just kidding. This is terrible. The point is, it's a different way to listen to your favorite music, which I think is more special than streaming. So if you're new, you are probably convinced now, but what do you do next? If you are new here and you're getting any value from this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Also in the comments, put what your favorite CD player is, why you collect CDs, and where you buy those CDs. If you did this, which I did do this, and throw out your 5-disc carousel CD player like it was an old clear clamshell landline phone because you thought it was worthless. Now you have guilt and shame about it. Well, you're probably going to need a new CD player. The good news is you have many options, from being super cheap all the way to being, I don't know, very expensive. If you're on a super tight budget, one of the easiest ways to get started with CDs is to buy a used DVD player from Goodwill that you can probably get for $5. Or you can buy a new one for about $30. The problem with these is that they sound like garbage. However, there is a way to make them sound much better. Something like this. This weighs, it feels like it's filled with helium. Not a high quality piece of electronics, but you can get this thing to sound really, really good. You're going to look for something like this on the back, which is a digital output. This is a coaxial output. You may also see an optical output. This will play CDs out of the box, but it sounds terrible. And you don't want terrible sounding CDs. You're getting into this because CDs sound better than streaming. So if you buy something like this, you're going to need an external DAC, which is a digital to analog converter. I'll link one in the description. One of the most affordable ones I like is the SMSL SU1, comes in about $80. You would connect the digital output from your crappy DVD player into the digital input of the digital to analog converter. And then you would take the analog output, which is the white and red connections, and connect that to your receiver or your integrated amplifier. You'll be listening to the sweet, sweet awesomeness of Will Smith's Big Willie Style in no time. If you want to skip that step, and I don't blame you, you want something a little bit more convenient, then you can look at something like this. This is the SMSL, what is the model number? PL100. It's a nice little all-in-one CD player, and it already has a decent DAC inside, which is a digital to analog converter, which means this thing is going to sound way better than this thing. Hit myself in the eye with the cord. The only gotcha with the SMSL PL100 is that it takes a 5-volt power supply, and it needs a 5-volt 2.2 amp power supply, which is much different from most of the 5-volt little cell phone chargers we have laying around the house, which are 1 to 2 amps. You're gonna have to spend a little bit more, probably $10 to get a 2.2 amp 5-volt charger. But this thing is about $100, which is about the same price as buying a crappy DVD player and an external deck, and this is more convenient. By the way, some of these products I'm talking about are made by SMSL, which are direct from China companies. And who knows what's going to happen with tariffs, so if you're interested in them, you may want to buy them now. This is a bit of a step up, comes in at $399. This is the Cambridge Audio AXC 35. This is a more traditional CD player, something that you probably had or saw in the 80s or 90s. Already has a very good DAC inside, so it's going to sound good, and it has the option of a digital output, so if you want to put a more expensive digital to analog converter on it in the future, I feel like I said future wrong, I said future, you certainly can. This cheap one, the SMSL PL100, also has a digital output. The Rotel CD11 Mark II is a $600 CD player. It's got a great DAC inside, single disc CD player, and it's pretty straightforward, just like the CD players in the 80s or 90s. You just hook it up to your stereo or your integrated amplifier, and you're good to go. You want to go super old school, you can get the Onkyo DXC390, which is a 6-disc CD carousel, just like we had back in the day. Comes in at a fairly affordable $349. And it also has a digital output, so it can scale with a better DAC. I need to get this in for a review. So you got a lot of options here. What's the biggest secret out of this whole video? The biggest secret, and this is based on my experience in doing a video about it, the biggest secret about this whole deal is you don't need to spend a lot on a CD player to have it sound real good. Because when I compared this cheap $30 DVD player to a $600 CD player, when I connected this to an external DAC, I couldn't tell the difference. Now, a lot of people are really into it, so they don't want to have to worry about having a crappy DVD player. They want something nicer. I totally get it, but if you're just after sound quality, you don't need to spend a ton of money to get great sound from your brand new CD collection, which includes a limited edition copy of Will Smith's Big Willie Style. Listen, the biggest takeaway for me about buying and collecting CDs is probably the most important thing is it reconnects me with my teenage years. If I have to replace my copy of NXS Kick, which somehow I didn't, it takes me back to 1987 when I got my first CD player, which was $130, which was just awesome. And I remember sitting in my room and just playing CDs constantly. Not a care in the world. When I buy a CD, I get a glimpse of that. And you'll be able to listen to your music after the apocalypse. You'll be able to support the artist in a meaningful way. Because when you buy a new CD, they get a lot more money than when somebody streams their music. Speaking of streaming services, I just put up a very interesting video. And when I was doing the research, I learned way more than I thought I would learn. And there's some shady stuff going on with some of the streaming services, allegedly. I'm going to link that right here. It's called How Spotify Killed Music as We Know It. It's a super fun video. You should check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Also, if you want to support me, you can buy one of these awesome screen printed t-shirts. One of the sizes is completely sold out and some of the other ones are getting close to being sold out. That'll be linked in the description.